Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of the Staff Chat, whatever this is. Conversation,
podcast, video
broadcast,
thing,
Jamboree.
Thank you all for joining us. We hope you enjoy us having some random conversation, and we have, again, some random headlines that we've all picked and a topic that we picked. So, does anyone in particular, well, I guess, okay, hold on. We're going to introduce ourselves, even though, we've been doing this for a while. So I'm Adam. I'm the visual arts director at Cross Church. Cameron.
Okay. Well, last week we went John, so I just didn't know.
Gotta switch it up.
Yeah, I'm Cameron Lewis. I am the youth pastor at the Carnival campus.
I am John Truex. I am the mobilization pastor and the Staunton campus pastor.
I am Eric. I am the network worship pastor.
Back to Cameron.
Let's just stay in that order too for the rest of the time.
Back to Cameron. Okay, John, can you introduce yourself again?
Podcast. We do ourselves the entire time.
We're very formal here. There's
very
a set.
formal. Yes.
It has to happen.
Hey Wesley. Hey Jessica. Thanks for watching. So one of the things that I want to start out with is we found out that we're in this for another 30 days. So that means no in-person services. So you get to see this for another 30 days and other things that we've been posting. So hope you like them. If you don't, I guess let us know, or maybe don't. I don't know. But yeah, so we got another 30 days of this stuff. So if there's anything, especially tonight, since we're live, and I'll probably mention it again later, but if there's anything you'd like to see, anything you love that you want us to keep going, please let us know, and we can talk about that and make some comments on that. So does anyone in particular have a story they'd like to share first?
Well, since you started off with that, mine kind of pertains to that.
Okay.
I see our friends in Spain are just done with it. So what's been happening is there have been several people leaving their home, walking their pets, which include a goldfish in a bowl, a hen, and someone was just trying to get out and they had like a, toy dog on a leash. And there was some random dude walking around in one of those T-Rex suits. Stains over it, man.
Wow.
They've given up.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I just say, I'm glad that our restrictions are not so strict that we can't just go out for a walk. Like, okay, we do have some things that we can't do or whatever, but we can still get out of the house and go for a walk and, whatever it may be, go to the park, as long as you're not congregating. But I was listening to the Doctrine and Devotion podcast this morning, and they were talking about like some local governor or some state's governor or mayor of a city or something, asking people to turn in their neighbors if they see people like coming over, so that they can be fined. I'm like, that's just absurd. Like, I couldn't imagine calling the police because my neighbors had friends over.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's like a gray area. It's like, okay, sure, I get it. Like, I understand, but then at the same time, you're calling the police to tattletale on your neighbor, basically. Like, I mean, I totally get it, but it's still kind of funny.
Yeah.
You do that in Jersey, you get taken out, I think.
Yeah.
You're using like a voice changer when you call so that nobody knows it's you that's calling. I just saw 4 people walk into my neighbor's house.
Wake up the next morning, your garage door has snitch written on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So are any of you guys taking advantage of those ways to get out of the house? Like walking your pet fish or anything?
Oh, absolutely.
Walking my child and my wife, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Walking your wife. All right.
I mean, we get out of the house and go on walks. Well, when it's not like today.
Right. Yeah. Oh, come on, man. This is your weather, isn't it? Kind of Irish out there.
It's a little too cold. It's nice, the rain, but it's too cold. Like if it was a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Like doing the ice bucket challenge this morning was miserable. Yeah.
That's crazy that that's coming back. I've been seeing some posts.
Yeah, no, it's
bad.
yeah.
Huh. Yeah, no, even in this weather, AJ and I, we went out in the rain yesterday and we just ran through puddles, and I just let her explore our neighborhood and jump in whatever puddle she wanted to for 45 minutes, and then we just came back in and got cleaned up. And...
Yeah. Tekla and Kennedy kind of did that today a little bit. Yeah.
You got to get out, man. We go insane.
Yeah, my kids do not want to be outside if it's raining. Not like raining and like chilly like it is. If it were like 85 degrees and raining, they would be for it. But this like low 50s and raining, nope, they don't want to leave the house.
Yeah.
And it was raining hard this morning. When I was driving up to Carlinville, there were spots where I had the windshield wipers on like all the way on the interstate. So,
yeah, I mean, it's been raining all day because I was out in it filming today and it's just wet. Everything's wet.
Radar looks like an inland hurricane or something's going on.
Yeah. So my article today is okay. Well, first of all, the title is Deputies Man-Made Bomb Threat to Avoid Work.
Oh.
What state do you think this is from?
Florida.
You're correct. So,
No.
a Florida construction worker called in a bomb threat to a water treatment facility to get a day off of work because he's an essential worker. And so he was arrested and charged with making a bomb threat. 20 people were evacuated. And he called around like 7 a.m. on a Thursday, I guess. He had been working with a construction crew at the facility and later told deputies that he made the threat because he was having a bad day and didn't want to work. And so now he is, I assume he's still being held on $10,000 bond.
Oh my.
So just because he was having a bad day and didn't want to go to work, he is now, arrested and made a bomb threat.
He created a bad luck.
Yeah.
I feel like if you just called in sick, that would be a better alternative.
Probably.
Like, I'm sick, I can't come in.
Man's about to have a lot more bad days ahead.
Well, on the bright side, he is now in self-quarantine by himself for a while.
He might have room.
I mean, technically, he did get a day off work, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, several days. And he probably is not returning to the job.
Yeah,
did you hear about the guy a while back in the Home Depot bathroom who was about to blow the place up? And he was in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And like told someone who came in, like,
somebody called
hey, I'm
the
about to
police.
blow this place up. And the guy went out and called the police because he thought it was a bomb threat. Not at all what the guy was talking about.
Okay, awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly,
John
John.
said, guess he got a vacation, just not the one he asked for.
I mean,
longer extended vacation.
I'm gonna blow this up.
There's like so many different ways you could handle that situation. Like,
yeah, but it's in Florida, so there's really only one way to handle the situation.
It's that humidity, man. I'm telling you, it's getting to people. It's that humidity.
Yeah, well, it's the closed beaches. They can't go to the beach, and so they're like, "What do I do? Let's call in a bomb threat."
Let's call in
Oh, jeez.
We'll get to the beach.
Not funny.
And yet, the governor still is asking. I don't know if you saw that headline. That's kind of another headline where he's asking like opinions on how to open the state back up. I'm like, no, don't open that up to a public forum, please.
Especially when
It's a Leslie Knope style public forum. Like, let's bring them all together and ask and get everybody's opinion. Have you all watched Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Okay, so I imagine the episode where they do the
oh
time capsule.
yeah,
That's exactly where I was going.
Yeah, they got the time capsule. Like, who wants? And they end up with like 9 different time capsules.
Yeah. Speaking of that, Thursday on NBC, they're having like a reunion thing
Yeah.
for charity.
That's awesome.
Which I'm excited about.
I
Yeah,
am
in
very
character.
excited to see that in character while in quarantine. I assume similar to like what we're doing here, so it's going to be pretty intense. I'm looking forward to it.
Mhm.
I didn't hear about that. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah, I need
Either John or Cameron?
Okay, so my article is North Carolina farm rents out donkeys, chickens, and ducks to crash Zoom calls. So like this farm, it's called Peace and Peas Farm. It started with their miniature donkey Mambo, and what they charge is 10 minutes for $50, and they will get like companies are requesting invites of Mambo, and then he's on there for 10 minutes for their corporation Zoom calls.
Like, he's not even physically there. Like, you just get to Zoom with a miniature donkey.
Right. That's literally it. So
I feel like
just for
you
laughs
could just
or
like
what?
YouTube.
So they said the reason they're doing it is because, Corona is a serious thing, and these Zoom calls are, tedious and lack of better words, but tedious. And so then they're like, let's spice it up with a donkey. Crazy. So so it says, they made a page, and like they've got several requests to have this donkey, but they also have other animals. So they have like Zeus and Eddie, and there's like 3 horses, chickens, ducks, and they can Zoom call with the corporation in their business meetings.
That's pretty innovative, man. Just trying to keep the gas on,
Yeah.
We all got to do what we got to do. Just trying to keep the gas on.
Yeah.
I feel like our next all staff meeting ought to have a donkey.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, $50 for 10 minutes, like, and you get to see a donkey, like, that's
yeah.
Here's one of the
and then
horses.
we
yeah.
wow, there we go. Yeah. And we don't even tell people that we're like, let's just get it to show up in the staff meeting. Like, it like drops in on
That'd
our
be
call.
funny. That'd be a good prank on Tim.
I
Oh,
mean,
look, there's a horse here.
I
That
mean,
wasn't
full
their
disclosure, you guys pay me $50. I'll dress up as any animal you want.
We probably have a
For 10 minutes, my goodness. It's a good rate.
That was the picture Adam showed. That was Zeus, their horse.
Oh, really? That's like legit. That's who you get. All right.
I just searched like Peace and Peas.
Yep, whatever you request. Chicken, donkey, duck, whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, I
What a
thought that was
weird
kind of,
thing.
it's funny, and it's, I
I
think,
mean, I guess if they're making money off of it, why
yeah,
not?
and
You do you.
they're trying to be, I guess, uplifting. In
Yeah,
some ways.
I mean, it's innovation, right? You got to adapt and overcome. So they can't do the petting zoos and things like that they would normally do. So let's find a way to make some income and have fun with it too. So, it's creative. I don't know that I would do it, but
Yeah.
I think they're gonna have to ramp it up, like not necessarily a petting zoo, but an actual zoo. I mean, you get like
Or you get
Joe Exotic,
or like
get Joe Exotic tigers in there, and we got
They're
it.
not his tigers anymore.
Oh yeah.
Or you just get Joe Exotic himself for 10 minutes. Straight from
Oh,
the
there you go.
From his prison cell.
Right.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh,
Here's
darn
my pet
terrible.
goldfish that I walk.
Well, my article, I kind of I went a bit of a different direction, but still with innovation, like Cameron shared. I thought about doing similar to Some Good News, as John Krasinski's YouTube show, which is like completely blown up. If you guys aren't watching that,
It's ridiculous.
you need to watch it. It's a lot of it's a fun time and a lot of positivity in a time where we definitely need it. I don't even know if that was the right way to say that, but you know what I'm trying to say. So the article I pulled was based off of what John Krasinski did last week or the week before, or whatever, where he hosted a virtual prom for high schools, high school seniors in particular, who are missing out on their prom. So I have an article from the Washington Post titled "Prom is Canceled, So People Are Getting Creative. This family made a festive prom for two." And so people are just finding ways to get extremely creative, fancy dinners at the house as if you were going to prom, music, dancing, I guess, by yourself or with your parents at prom. But it's really cool to see the innovation specifically around prom or graduation are those things that high school seniors are missing this year, with it being their last year in high school. So I want to ask a question. This is still article wise. What kind of innovation have you seen for people to be able to reach those high school seniors, to be able to do something to honor them and acknowledge their accomplishment?
I mean, just locally, last Friday, the high school, we just, we got our new turf field and all those things. And so what they did at 8:00, was it 8:00? 8:20 is what it was, because military time, it's 2020. They turned on the lights and we were able to drive through and see all the teachers out there just to honor the seniors that don't get to finish. And it was kind of cool. I went to it, and Jimmy and I went, and afterwards it kind of set in. I talked about this a little bit in my message this last Wednesday, but it set in. There's a little bit of a heaviness to no school for the rest of the semester, especially the unknown of what summer holds. I just think about the seniors that had their last youth group but didn't know it was their last youth group, or had their last camp that literally all of our students look forward to and anticipate, like day by day by day. Like, I mean, we have students that have countdowns on their Instagram page, like on their stories, where you just see the days and the hours and the minutes. And, just not knowing that was their last camp, there's a heaviness to that. But it was really, really cool and uplifting to see. I mean, the line when we got to it, and we were probably, we got there 8:30, 8:35, and the line was like through the turning section past McDonald's of cars just like trying to get through there. So it was really, really encouraging to see that come together, and see the new turf field and all the teachers out there with signs and smiling and waving and all that cool stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, so around Collinsville, they have yard signs that they've put out in all the homes of seniors. I haven't seen any in Carlinville yet, but I think they are doing something similar up there. And so just, class of 2020 signs, and then with some individuals, I don't know if it's sports related or what, but they have like their picture and like who they are that lives in that house, just honoring and acknowledging their accomplishment as a senior, and that this year didn't end how anybody had anticipated or thought it was going to end.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know locally, what is it? Awesome Inc. has been doing yard signs. I've also seen a couple posts of towns doing like banners on the poles with like a picture of the student. Which, would be easy for somebody like us, but a larger town obviously couldn't do that. But yeah, the virtual proms, I'm pretty sure TikTok's doing something as well. So I don't know. It's just like, yeah, it's crazy. Because I was thinking about last camp, because for me, I grew up going to Beulah Youth Institute down in El Dorado, Illinois. And, I was thinking about what if my senior year of camp got canceled.
Yeah.
And like how hard that would be for me. Which, like, for us, this was going to be our first year going to Super Summer. So it was really not going to be the same for our students either way, because it's not their camp, like they've known, but it's still camp. It's still hard to, anything like that. Or
VBS.
even like, even just, VBS or concerts that you had planned to go to and you can't anymore, especially things like, say it was super hard to get tickets. You got them, you were super excited, it's difficult. And like Gabby said too, which we've talked about, like thinking about the teachers who are retiring, they don't even get a chance to, have that kind of moment of retirement.
Yeah.
She also said Facebook page. Oh yeah, we have that Facebook page that's been created in our town as well, where they're posting students and saying where they're going to college. So I know Carlinville's doing that, which is a pretty cool thing. So it has like a picture where they're going to college, what their plans are after school, to kind of honor them, I guess. So things like that.
The only other thing I've seen is like parades and whatnot in a couple other towns, just with like graduating class. Apparently some were ill-advised as well. My friend Chris took a picture of one and was like, so this is going to be bumper to bumper up a very steep hill. And I was like, yeah, should have probably picked a better route on that one.
Yeah, with a 16-year-old who's driving a stick shift for the first time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who are we kidding? 16-year-olds these days can't drive stick shifts.
I can't drive a stick
What?
shift. I'm not 16.
Why?
Well, okay. I can drive a stick shift. You don't want me to drive a stick shift. There's like, I know how, and I'm capable.
Aren't you embarrassed by that?
I'm not embarrassed. I just don't think. I didn't grow up with stick shifts. Everything was automatic. I didn't have to learn. Actually, how I did learn is when I was in college. When I was back home going to Blackburn, my dad had bought like a Ranger, a little truck, and it was a stick shift. And I was like, I want to learn. And so I would just drive it wherever I could. I'd go get gas or go to the grocery store. And
I can see you now stalling at every stop sign.
Oh, it was bad. I got decent at it. Like I got okay at it. But if I tried to drive it now, I know I wouldn't be anywhere.
Yeah, I want to take a poll for anybody who's listening. I want you to comment whether or not you know how to drive a stick shift. Like you're proficient at it. Like you could get in a car today and drive it without having to think about it. I'd love to see.
It took me a few blocks to catch back up, but yeah,
I think I could do it, but I'm not proficient.
Yeah.
Well, Adam, how did you learn? You learned when you got that vehicle, didn't you?
I literally got a Saturn that was
a
stick shift, and I learned like with that Saturn. Like,
but you were.
I was like.
You were like 20.
Forced into it.
25?
Yeah, I had driven one before then, but like it was my sister's car, so like it was like, I had not really learned. I drove it like once, but so when I got the Saturn, which is a funny story. There's a funny story with that too. So one of my friends, Brian, from home, he got a Saturn, I believe, and it was a stick shift. And he had to drive it home, like 45 minutes home, and he had never driven a stick before. And so it was like, okay, you got to learn quickly. The only time I ever had issues were on hills, and then stop and go traffic on highways is the worst with a stick shift. Like, oh gosh, you basically just keep your foot on the clutch like the whole time.
Yeah, when I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old. My dad's girlfriend was at the house, and I asked if I could drive her car, and she handed me the keys and she said, if you can start it, you can drive it. And it was a stick shift, and I had no idea what that was or how any of that functioned, and I could not figure out how to start the car. So I didn't get to drive it. So when I turned 16, I
Legal age of driving.
my sister had a little pickup truck that was a stick shift, and my friend Derek had a pickup truck that was stick shift, and so I learned how to drive stick shift. And Gretchen and I both, we love and prefer stick shift manual vehicles. But when we got to Japan, when I first got there with the Air Force, they have all these little Hi-Ace pickup trucks. I'm going to see if I can bring up a picture while I'm talking about it. Maybe. But all of them are stick shifts. And you don't really think about it. But in Japan, they drive on the left side of the road, steering wheels on the opposite side of the truck. Let me see here. Can I screen share this little pickup truck? They're awesome. Screen share. I don't know how to do this. There we go. This truck right here. Maybe I don't. Okay, I didn't bring it up. You should look for Hi-Ace pickup truck. It just gave me some error message. But so the steering wheel's on the opposite side, which means your stick for shifting gears is on the opposite side. But your pedals and your clutch and everything are still in the same order. So it's still, your right foot for your gas and brake, your left foot for the clutch. But that was a huge, huge adjustment, shifting with the opposite hand.
Yeah.
So it was much more difficult than driving on the opposite side of the road, because you really do just adapt to that pretty quickly. But shifting gears, not so much.
Luckily, I had a few friends that showed me how to first, because the real first on your own type thing, it was a pretty much trial by fire. As the story goes, there was, and we were around Brentwood, Missouri. My friend Grant's younger brother, Andrew, had a few too many. I did not. I was the sober one. And he wanted to go to White Castle, as people do. Naturally. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. Luckily, there weren't a lot of people on the road, because it did take me a quick minute at all those stoplights to get going again.
Yeah, I remember one time when I was driving my dad's truck, it was a stop sign, and I killed it once.
There you go.
Oh, that thing's awesome.
Yeah, but so they have like mini versions of it. That one there is a big one, but they have like little tiny versions of it that if you're sitting in there, 2 people wide, you're shoulder to shoulder.
Oh,
yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, but I killed it once at a stop sign, and then it just got worse from there, because I was like, people are behind me. Like I just started killing it more and more, because I'm just like freaking out, and I'm like rushing it, and I'm like, okay, I probably killed it like 8 times easily.
Yeah. So we got into that conversation for some reason. I don't remember why. That's a lot of how our conversations go.
Truth.
So I plan on, before we're done with this conversation, fulfilling my ice bucket challenge, thanks to Eric. And Hannah was also nominated, thanks to Annie. So we're going to do that probably at the very end, so that I can quickly go and change clothes. But when I do things like that, I go big. So I went and bought 20-pound bag of ice. And I have it outside right now in 2 buckets filled with water, preparing for the ice bucket challenge, which will happen here shortly.
So stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm telling you that because here shortly I'm going to get up and walk out to my front porch where the 2 buckets of ice are, and Hannah and Hayden are going to join me in doing this. But what I wanted to talk about tonight is not an ice bucket challenge, but mission trips. So I have a mission trip scheduled, and it's supposed to be happening coming up in June 7th through the 18th, to Metro Manila in the Philippines, going and working with an orphanage. There were supposed to be 12 of us who were going. Several have had to back out because their doctors have said you can't go. Work has said you can't go, whatever it may be. And we're just anticipating the airline is going to cancel the flight. But if the airline doesn't cancel the flight, we're going because they won't refund us our money. And it's a whole lot of money to fly 12 people to the Philippines. So that kind of got me thinking about discussion about favorite mission trip memories. And if you have not been on a mission trip, where would you like to go and serve on a mission trip?
Great question.
And why? You can't just be like Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah.
Everybody wants to go on a mission trip to Hawaii.
Pick up litter
on the beach.
Yeah.
So my favorite mission trip was my first one, and I think I don't remember what grade I was in. I was in like youth, obviously, but we went to Chicago, and we were working at this like church. So like one of the things we did was we tarred the roof, which was absolutely miserable in the middle of the summer.
Oh yeah.
But so one of my best memories, there's two. So one of them is pretty hilarious. So my friend, so the way it's set up, there was like a back door, and then the bathroom kind of jutted out like this. And so there was like a window here. And so you could go out the back door and see the window. Well, it was hot, so the window was open. And my friend David was on the toilet. And basically, my friend Dano then went up to the window and quickly popped up and said, "Having a nice poop?" And basically, my friend David got super scared and stared at the window, and that was really funny. But so then the next day, my cousin DJ was in the shower, and all of a sudden, it sounds like somebody is pressure washing themselves in the bathroom. Like it was like a jet. So the hot water knob had flew off the wall. And so my cousin is in the shower with the hot water flying past him, trying to figure out how to get through. He finally gets through. He runs out in like shorts, and he's like, "I got to turn off the hot water heater." Like basically the hot water is spraying out. And then, so he runs, and then he runs downstairs, and then he realized he forgot his flashlight, so he runs back up. But then my friend Sean is sitting there staring at his clothes getting wet. And so he asks Brian, which was one of our chaperones, he was like, "Hey, should I get his clothes? They're getting wet." And he's
Definitely
like,
not.
"Yes, dude, come on." Like, it's just like spraying, getting everything wet. It's like, dude, like, why do you ask? Just do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my favorite trip. I have a lot of good memories from that one. I've never went out of the country though.
Like on a mission trip or like at all ever?
On a mission trip. Well, I've been
Okay.
to Mexico. That's as far as I've been out of the country. So I don't know if that's technically.
I mean, technically, it's out
you
of the
consider
country,
that, but like, yeah.
That works for sure. Yeah. I've been on 2 mission trips.
okay.
It was when I was, I believe, 9 and 12 or 10 and 12, something like that. We went to Juarez, Mexico. We went with a group, Casitas del Rey. And so what we did was when we went down there, we split up, our church split up into 2 groups, 2 different sites, and we built a house. So technically when we went down, we built 2 houses in the week span that we were there. And when I say houses, I mean like shacks, basically. It was a 1-room shack. And so when I was there, I was young, so I didn't. There was like pouring concrete and all these things, and so there's a lot of things I technically couldn't help with. And so when I wasn't, I actually became like pretty good friends with some of like the neighborhood kids. Which the neighborhood that we were in, like, it was just crazy and crazy eye-opening to see like some of these houses that people live in every single day, like go to sleep in every single day, were made out of like blue tarps and our pallets, like pallets that we put stuff on to transport and then throw away. Like that was their house. Like that's what they lived in. That's what they called home. And so like that was the neighborhood we were in. And so one of the, I think my wife's burning something in the kitchen.
That's not good.
That's why I do all the cooking.
Dinner bell, huh? All right.
But one of the things they did for fun, they had like a, I don't know. To me, I was young. To me, it was like a monster truck tire. I would imagine it was like a tractor tire of some sort. But it was big enough to sit 2 kids in side by side. And so what they would do is put 2 kids in, and you'd like brace your feet up against the sidewall and push them to the back of it. And then they would just roll kids up and down the street.
Oh, dear.
And you would just sit in it. And I just remember like rolling down this giant tire with them. And like when it was hot out, when it was really, really hot out, they would take water and they would put it in like the bottom of the tire. And so then when you would do it, it would like splash water and you're rolling down the street. That was probably the coolest thing I've been a part of. You know, I became really close with one kid particularly that actually helped me, like helped us work. And like, it was really hard for me to say goodbye to him. And it was just a really, really cool, heartfelt moment that I still hang on to for sure. So, yeah.
Nice. I've gone on 0 mission trips.
All right.
But I would go to Africa if given the choice. There is a organization that I donate to monthly called the Mocha Club, and they have like a big organization that focuses on different things over there. The last big thing that they were doing was building an orphanage, and it was like one at a time. They were building like the orphanage for the girls. Like this time, they're probably, I would hope they're on the boys by this time. I haven't really checked in on it, you know, as of late, but yeah. So donating that and hearing the stories from, I think Josh has gone over there, Hedger. So I've heard some stories of his, and then also some of the artists that support the Mocha Club, Dave Barnes, Matt Wirtz. They have like a bunch of stories that they've told about that over there, and it sounds like a really cool project. But the kids seem a little savage over there, man. Dave tells a story about, or he's playing soccer one day with these kids, this big group of kids, and it's like, he goes, it's like 576 degrees out, and so we're running there, you know, we're kicking the ball, and I'm like, I'm getting winded. I go over and sit down on the bench, and some of the kids come over and they're like, "Oh, Dave, what's the matter?" And he's like, "Well, I'm just a little tired, you know, playing soccer and the heat and everything." And the little kid goes, "Oh, is it because of your obesity?"
Wow.
And he's like, "I would like to think I'm big boned, but."
Oh man, I have been on a large number of mission trips. My first one was with World Changers in Asheville, North Carolina. I wrote about it in one of my identity blog posts this week. I think it's day 5. I don't know. You'll probably read it soon. I've been to this orphanage in the Philippines more than a dozen times. I think 14 times I've been to this orphanage. And then went to Cincinnati with the youth from Collinsville year before last. So my favorite memory is from the orphanage. We've done all kinds of things there. You know, my philosophy of missions is kind of, you know, meeting the need that's there rather than just coming in and saying, "Hey, this is what we can do." Yeah. So we've always kind of gone in open-handed and open-minded, and we get there, and the director of the orphanage just, you know, "This is what I need this week," and we kind of fill it in. But usually when I come and bring a group of men, it's construction projects. And so I would show up, and it would always be tear down this wall, build this wall, you know, do plumbing in this, you know, whatever it may be, all kinds of different construction projects. But some of my best memories are from being at the orphanage when children are told that they're going to be adopted into a forever family. It's an amazing experience to be really just that fly on the wall, because, you know, you build connections with the kids, like you were talking about, Cameron, especially when you go repeatedly and you watch some of these kids grow up in the orphanage. But in an experience like that, when they're being told that they've been, matched with this family, that they're going to be going home to their parents or their mom and dad who are adopting them, you really are a fly on the wall. You're nobody in that situation, and so you get to kind of sit back and just watch and see their reactions and see the emotion of it all, and not just for them, but for their friends who have been in the orphanage with them, who have grown up, with them. A lot of these kids, they're not in the orphanage for a month or 2 months, but they're in the orphanage for 3 or 4 or 5 years before they're adopted. And so they build these lifelong friendships and relationships. And we have had the opportunity to be kind of through that entire process with a couple of different kids. One sibling set in particular was adopted by some good friends of ours. And so we got to meet them on one of our trips to the orphanage. And then after like 3 years, they got adopted by people that we knew. And so we got to know them while they were in the orphanage. We got to know them through the process of adoption. And then we still get to go and visit them now that they're home with their forever family. And another group of 3, a sibling set of 3, was adopted by a family here in Illinois. And so we knew them pretty well because of, the circumstances that they were in. But when they got adopted by this family in Illinois, this was probably back in 2012 when they were adopted by this family. We were in Japan. And so in 2013, we came back for a conference and we were staying in O'Fallon and decided we're going to contact this family and see if we could come and see the kids. And they were very receptive to having us come. And, we have all kinds of pictures from when they were kids. Their kids were, real young. And so we were able to go and meet the family and see the kids and check up on them. So that was just a really awesome experience to be part of things like that. So,
yeah, I think that's definitely something that I would love to see Cross Church do more. Those 2 mission trips that I went on were before we got to Cross Church. And it's something that I've been really interested in doing myself, but kind of have found like I don't know how to, basically.
Yeah. We're going to do it.
Yes.
I assure you it's going to happen, and Eric is going to go.
Yes, and that'd be so awesome, because I mean, my plan was actually for this summer was to do something local, just because I wanted something. And so like I was actually going to have students like stay, which still could absolutely happen, but stay at the church. We do a week, and then we just do local things. We go to the food pantry, or we go help out, just people in our church that need yard work done or whatever, and then come back. And because one of my favorite things is experiencing that through the day and then coming back to a place where we get to worship and just dive into scripture. There's just something that's different, because you're almost humbled by what you've experienced and what you've seen, to a place where when you come to the feet of Jesus, like it's just surreal and how good he is. And it's humbling for yourself, for that matter. But I would absolutely love to see that more. Another great memory of mine is we did a 1-day VBS while we were in Mexico, and we were playing outside, and the group of kids, we had seen them like playing through the week, and they had a soccer ball, but their soccer ball was a bunch of like plastic sacks and then tied together. So it was like just a big like plastic ball. And when we end up getting them a real soccer ball, and like just the excitement on their face to see that, and like then to play soccer with them was just really, really awesome to be a part of. It's definitely eye-opening, and I would love to see that more and be a part of that for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely cool. I think we went on one pretty much every year. There was one year we went to Mississippi. It was after Katrina. And I remember we went to these neighborhoods that were like they had been flooded. And I remember talking to a guy, and he was just telling the story about how basically he had a copper pipe and a mallet, and he was sitting up in his attic waiting to potentially have to hammer the pipe through the roof so he could breathe, and like things like that. And it was crazy to see the devastation there, but also to be there as like, hope, especially in time. Because I mean, it hadn't just happened, but it was still far enough, like close enough that it was, still very real for all those people. And I'm sure it still is. I don't think that's gone away. But yeah, you get some really powerful stories out of that. And so
hey, throw Alex's comment up on there, the favorite moment.
Oh yeah. Helping a Haitian woman give birth with Karen's wife, with Jamie.
Yeah, that's probably her favorite moment too. She talked about that the entire time coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My parents went on several mission trips to Haiti as well. And there's actually, his name was Sule, and he was a pastor in Haiti, and like he visited us, like just so cool, like genuine guy. Like we got to like take him up in the arch and like all those things, and so it's definitely a part of a lot of that holds a big part in my memories and who I am. So.
See, I'll have to bring Jamie with us if we go to the Philippines because they love when we bring nurses and doctors who can help train and teach the caregivers at the orphanage on how to do certain things so that they don't have to go to the hospital to get stuff done. We've brought people there who trained the staff on how to give IVs, start an IV, so that they could do bags of fluids for kids who are dehydrated.
Wow.
And so the people who were there with us on the mission trip, one of the things that they had to do was to be like a test dummy. So like, hey, today you're going to get an IV, which I hate blood. I don't do blood at all. Like if there's blood, I'm out. And so the director of the orphanage was like, John, you're up. You're going to get an IV today. And I mean, she poked me. I can't tell you how many times.
Oh no.
But you know what? It came in handy because we were there on another trip, and I was there over my birthday. So it was in August. It was blazing, stinking hot out. There's no air conditioning in the orphanage, and we had to knock down a cement wall, not like cinder block, but like cement, like rebar reinforced cement wall. And so it's August 17th. It was the day after my birthday. And we're down there, we're just tearing into it. And there were like 6 guys. And in the Filipino culture, women can't do work like that. And so the women who were with us, if they had been helping, we would have gotten it done really quick, but they couldn't. So we're like working our tails off. And I got so dehydrated that I went up to go to the bathroom. And as I was going to the bathroom, I had a kidney stone. And the dehydration in my kidney stone like mixed. I passed out, like fell over on the bathroom floor. And I was out for a while. And I woke up and I'm on the bathroom floor and I crawled into the other room, like the one room that has air conditioning. It was the director's office. Like I crawled in there and got the air conditioning on and I'm just like laying there like somebody is going to come in here and find me. I don't have enough strength to get up. And the guys decided to work through dinner that day because they hadn't done. And so I'm laying in here with no strength, no energy. I can't get up for like 4 hours, just waiting for somebody to find me. And finally, a guy named Kareem, a great guy, a good friend of mine, he came in to get something. And, I could barely speak. And I was like, find David, like get David, who was a PA who was there with us. And he goes and gets David and David had to come in and give me an IV. And he was, he's in the Navy, but he was attached to a Marine unit. He has no bedside manner, and I was so dehydrated that when the needle hit the skin, it bent the needle. So he pulls it back out and blood is now gushing out of my arm and going everywhere. And grabs a larger gauge needle and gets an IV started. It was 2 bags of fluids before I could have enough energy to get up and get off the floor.
Hey guys, I just remembered I've been on like 500 mission trips, y'all. They know me everywhere.
Sorry. Eric. All right, we can move on from the mission trip question.
We could talk for days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's a simple one. What is your dream vehicle?
Oh, snap.
I can go ahead and start because I'm not into cars, man. So I don't really care.
He wants a Saturn.
I'm good.
He wants a Saturn. What'd you say, Cooper? What'd you want?
I say if it gets me from point A to point B, it's all good.
When I was growing up, Firebirds were like the cool thing.
Yeah, my uncle had one of those.
But now I would definitely say
you wouldn't say
anything. A Firebird,
I'm telling you, I'm nervous.
Jamie playing that.
There's gonna be smoke pouring out of the door.
The next 5 minutes, you're just gonna see a flame light up in the background. Like, oh, I gotta go.
I was making macaroni. I don't know what happened.
The stream.
I think my dream car for sure is like a Mini Coupe, like a sport Mini Coupe for sure. I think I watched the movie Italian Job and like fell in love with that car. My gosh.
You may want to go check on her. Okay. Yeah.
I just put a hot dog in a bun and it just.
So I've always wanted a Corvette. Just any Corvette. Right now, I mean, that new 2020 mid-engine Corvette is pretty stinking awesome. I saw one on the road the other day.
One?
I don't care.
The year that you don't care.
Nope,
you just
I don't
want
care.
a Corvette.
Yeah, I just want a vet. I don't want those 90s model Corvettes. Those are ugly. But that 2020 vet with the mid-engine, man, that's an awesome car. Wesley says a 1980 Suburban.
So my dream vehicle is a Volkswagen van. I've loved these things.
Yeah,
I was just about to say that.
I've loved these for so long. And there's been one on Facebook Marketplace from a place down in St. Louis for forever. It's like $50,000, but it's been completely restored. And it's like, I'm like, this is my perfect car right there.
Absolutely.
Like, I want one so bad.
A bed in the back.
So if anyone wants to donate me $50,000 to buy a Volkswagen bus,
hit
me up.
Dave Ramsey, man.
If there was
money away,
there was a functioning, would last a long time DeLorean, I'd probably go in that because of Back to the Future.
DeLorean?
Yeah, I would rock a DeLorean for sure.
I also want a Tesla, but that's...
Yeah, I want the new Tesla truck.
Yeah, the tank.
The Cybertruck?
Yeah.
That thing is sick.
It's pretty cool.
The Cybertruck is so cool. All right.
Man.
Cameron, you're up. I think Eric has questions again. Right?
Cooper, do you have questions again?
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
That's honestly my favorite part so far.
Yeah, me too.
Wow, thanks. Everyone else's topics suck.
No, I've been enjoying those though. It's been a lot of fun. So The Last Dance is a documentary that there's multiple episodes of it, but came out last Sunday. It's over Michael Jordan. I almost said Jackson for a second there. It's over Michael Jordan, and just like it's a documentary of his time through his NBA career. Hang on.
Which time?
His whole career. My gosh.
That was like on cue. He turned around and looked before it started, like what is going on, and then it went off again. So
like there's ones that are going off on the right side of my house, and so then when that starts beeping, I can hear it off in the distance, and so I'm like, okay, this one's gonna come on any second. So like,
what is she? Okay, can we talk about what is happening
now?
All
right, Jamie needs to comment and tell us what is she cooking. Or not cooking. What has she forgotten about?
Homemade pizza. So before I got on, we made the dough and I cut up all the sides and everything, and she was going to put it together and put it in the oven.
So is there things dripping in the oven? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. We may need to. I really have no. I just hope it turns
Pizza's
out.
not going to be good after.
All I'm hoping is it turns out perfect because I was really excited for it. So anyway, so it's over his entire career in the NBA. And so when I was watching that, I just kind of started thinking like, with Kobe passing away, there's been a lot of Kobe posts. I'm a big sports guy, so I follow a lot of like Sports Center, things like that, and Instagram, everything I have. And there's been a lot of Kobe posts. And what I've been noticing in the couple episodes that I watched of Michael Jordan is it comes down to this mentality, this drive that they had. When you talk about Kobe, they call it the Mamba mentality. And so I guess my question to you guys is it the mentality that got him there? Is it the talent? Is it the combination of both? Is it referring to our jobs? Is it our work ethic? Is it the time and the mentality we have that we put in it? Or is it, the anointing talents that God's given us, or is it the combination of both? Because when I look at these MLB or NBA or NFL stars, they always have this eat first mentality that they've got to get it, they've got to get after it, and they're not going to stop kind of deal. So I was just kind of curious what your opinion was. And I know maybe sports isn't your thing, so refer that to guitars, or we refer that to, whatever it may be, the best of the best. What's it take? Is it the mentality? Is it the skill? Is it the combination of both? I was just kind of curious what you guys thought.
Well, I think it has to be a combination. So to just kind of move away from sports for a second, the movie Hancock. Okay, so you've got superhero,
yep,
right? Or whatever, however you want to phrase it. He's great. He's got everything he needs, but he doesn't have the drive or the motivation. I think you have to have both of them. You can have all of the skills, all of the abilities. You can be the best guitar player in the world, and the only place you're going to play guitar is on the corner with your guitar case open trying to make some money. If you don't have the drive to put in what it takes to get ahead in that. And I think a lot of that is natural ability and gifting mixed with a desire to do more, a desire to be better, a desire to enrich your craft and other people's lives with your craft. And I think that's one of the things we saw with Kobe. I think we saw it with Michael Jordan, Ozzie Smith in baseball. I mean, these guys, they're just amazingly talented, and they wanted to enrich their lives. They wanted to be better, and they wanted other people around them to be better. And that went a long way. And maybe not just in sports, but in physically around them to be better. So,
yeah.
Agreed.
Well, so do you think like a mentality or a work ethic can make up for lack of skill?
Because you're going to get better and better. The natural talented people, just in my world, if we're talking about guitar and everything, and depending on your definition of success and what that means or whatever, there's also a bit of politicking and luck and who you know and everything that's bound up in all that, because anymore these days the market is just so super saturated, and really all of our radio play stuff, all of our whatever is decided by a few record label executives that are like, hey, this person's going to get crowds and they're going to sell whatever. And it's not necessarily going to be about, I think one of the shirts that I've seen, it's like, the pop star plays 3 chords and plays in front of tens of thousands of fans. And then the jazz guy plays tens of thousands of chords and plays in front of 3 people type thing, So there's a lot more to that area at least. But you got to have both, man. You got to have some natural ability that's your foundation. That's your springboard, whatever we're talking about. And then your drive is just going to, I mean, look at like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He could have been just like, you know what? I'm just going to be a wrestler. I'm done. Yeah. I'm going to finish my days out like this. But, you know, he had a drive and determination to do, you know, acting, do a little bit of singing. Now he's gotten into like another venture, like with Under Armour with apparel, and there's a tequila or whatever he's got now. And so, I mean, he's just constantly working it, man. He's just a very talented guy, but if he didn't work, going back to the music thing, I heard Albert King talking to Stevie Ray Vaughan one time in an interview and saying, you know, now that you have got established, the better you are, the harder you have to work at it. Because you can get really satisfied with what you're doing and be like, oh man, that sounds great. That's all I need right there.
Yeah.
But it's that little extra.
Yeah. And I think that comment there kind of leads into the discussion about in the church and giftedness and ability and drive for those of us who are not only working in the church but serving the church. You know, I think God does give each and every one of us not only a gifting and ability but a calling in our lives. But He sets that up for us to walk in them, and so we have to. And if we choose not to, then we squander it, we waste it away. But it does take that, you know, it's tough to say in the setting of a church, but it does take the work ethic to be able to say, you know, I'm going to put in the time and the energy to do this and do this well, because I want to glorify God with the talents and the abilities He's given me. Yeah. And it looks different because I can't get up and do what Eric does and glorify God with that. It's going to be painful. But I can use the gifts and abilities He's given me to glorify God in the ways that He has equipped me to do that. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
For me, like, I think there's certain things where you have to have natural born talent, but I think there are things that you don't. Like even things like there are people that are really good, say, with guitar that have natural born talent, whatever. But somebody that doesn't have natural born talent can learn how to play guitar and learn how to be good at it. Whereas something like usually like singing or something like that, that's something that you have to have that talent to be able to hear the notes and match what, but people can learn, you know, but there are some people that don't have that ability. So I think it's a two, like, I think you need both, but I think that there's certain times where you don't really necessarily need the talent as long as you have the drive to actually learn and work.
Tom Brady there by Wayne. That's a good shout right there.
Yes. I loved that. I was going to say that. That is.
Did you see that Gronkowski's down in Tampa now?
Oh yeah. It happened while I was live on Instagram and I was like, oh, this happened. I'm excited. I'm still a Tom Brady fan. So I'm excited to see what happens, but we'll see. Yeah, but I agree. I had a kid I went to high school with. His name was Darnell Scott. One of the most talented dudes I've ever met. And I remember, no joke. This is how it went. We'd go work out, and Darnell was either dancing, running around screaming, or talking to somebody outside of the workout room. And then every 3 months or 2 months or whatever it was, we would do our maxes. Darnell would come in, do his maxes, and would throw up 300 pounds on bench. Wouldn't lift a weight. I mean, legitimately. And it's like, you have the natural born talent, and if you had the work ethic that went along with that, or the mentality or whatever that is, like you could have been a freak of an athlete. So I totally agree. It's a both and. But really, without the mentality, you throw away your natural talent. Whereas if you have the mentality, yes, there's going to be a difference if you have the natural talent, but you're gonna progress. You're gonna get better because you have the mentality of doing that. But if you don't have the mentality, then you're kind of just stalemated, and you are where you are. And that's it. So, but
All right, Eric.
Oh, I'm up. Nice. Okay. So we did this or that. We did favorites and whatever else. Today I've got pick 3.
Ooh.
So our first one, and everybody that's watching, comment on these too. We want to know your answers as well. Pick 3 superpowers that you would have. I'll go first to give you guys time to think, because I've obviously had time to think on this. My 3, I would want to fly. And along with that, I have to pick being like invincible, because you can't be flying along and then accidentally hit a duck going 75 miles an hour, because that would take you out. And then the other one would be like the healing power. See, so like Superman can heal himself, but I want to be able to heal everybody.
Okay.
Just be like going around, zipping around and healing people.
3 superpowers. I think I would have to go with shape-shifting for one.
Ooh.
I like the sneakiness of being able to be whoever I want.
Yeah.
Probably what is it? Telekinesis. So like being able to pick up anything with my mind, manipulate objects with my mind.
Yes.
And then
there is no spoon, Neo.
Yeah, I'd probably have to combo that with super strength. That way I can jump around and run wherever I need to be.
I would say
that was a mean combo.
Invisibility. I would say flight, but I'd prefer teleportation. Because then I can just go wherever I want.
Like jumper.
Yeah, like I like to think about it like if you've seen the room, if you've seen a place, you can go there.
Like
that.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and then I feel like it might, I don't know, like speed maybe.
I feel like there'd be mistakes made with that teleporting thing. It's like, I'm in the middle of the ocean. Ah.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, maybe speed, or something like Green Lantern, where you wear a ring and you can actually like create anything you want.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty sweet.
So I would like to know what a woman actually means when she says that she doesn't know what she wants to do. I think that's a superpower.
Oh no.
I like the teleportation. I'm glad I went last here because I just take everybody else's idea. The jumper style teleportation, that's definitely that's awesome. I like that. And then super strength. Yeah, strength for sure.
What's Hannah's?
Hannah, 3 superpowers. What do you think?
Flying, invisibility, and speed.
That's a good combination.
Very nice. Well, we got some of the ones coming in here. We got speed, strength, and flight by Wesley.
Yeah, flight, walk through walls, and invisibility.
Oh, we got like Shadowcat.
Knowing the future.
Woo!
Flying and healing power.
Nice.
Speaking with animals.
Dr.
Wild shape
nice.
and just being really good with math. What? Is
that
a superpower?
Yeah, superpower. Good at math.
Yeah. Basically, okay, so wild shape is from D&D, and it's basically being able to turn yourself into animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the good with math, man, you can do, that's like Tony Stark, Mr.
Beautiful Mind
type stuff. Yeah.
All right.
The next one, number 2. What 3 main course foods would you pick to eat for the rest of your life?
Oh.
I would go with pizza and tacos and burgers. Boom.
So you're saying we could still have sides but we have to.
Yeah,
eat.
there's a question that's
Made.
coming up. You can have all the sides you want, but this is like the 3. You can only eat these things, or it's like some Jumanji thing that your weakness is you die if you don't eat one of these.
Mine's sushi, steak, and pasta.
Pasta. That's a category. That's not dish.
Oh, but it is. I just want noodles. I can do whatever I want with those noodles as long as I have noodles.
About Gabby's down there, we were talking about eating food, and I thought she wanted to eat a bear.
I want
to. Yeah, I mean, pizza is definitely one for me. I don't know. I like pasta a lot, but I think I could get rid of pasta. Some type of meat. I don't really know which one I'd pick. And then maybe like some form of like either Chinese, Thai food, something like that. I don't know what
you guys are picking categories of food. I would like to eat American food and all American. All
right, fine.
Food, okay?
We'll do lo mein.
Lo mein. All right, there we go. I love some lo mein. It's not on my list though. Burgers for sure. Tacos and steak. And those tacos will probably be beef tacos too. So just give me the whole cow.
Yeah, there you go.
Pizza, chicken, and pasta from Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken, steak, sushi, and fried chicken.
Woo.
Steak, pizza, and chicken.
You got me weak with that fried chicken.
Pizza, steak, and vanilla pudding. Nice, Kathy. Pizza, Chinese, and steak.
I don't know if that's pizza, Chinese, steak, like one thing, or if it's 3.
I mean, honestly, let's do it. Can we buffalo, specifically the buffalo chicken salad from Uptown.
It is that good.
Shut up.
It is.
Pizza, tacos, and Italian beef.
Pizza, tacos, and Italian beef.
Ooh, man. All right.
And Michaela just squeaked one in with pasta, chicken, and salad.
I've never heard of that.
Okay. Next one. Okay, so if money was no option, pick 3 home locations where you have like houses in these 3 locations.
Oh man.
All bought and paid for. Mine would obviously be one around here, one around Teresa's family, and I would go, man. And I've had time to think about this too. That's what the crazy thing is. I would have one. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna say the UK because I want to go there. But it was a toss up between Hawaii and the Gulf Coast down in. Put me in Florida. I was a little hesitant on that one.
I would say probably here, and then I would say Ireland. Obvious.
Obvious.
Yeah, and then I honestly Montana. Like
I respect that.
Yeah,
I want to live in Montana so bad.
I
There's just a house there that we can go visit.
Yeah, I like that. I think one would be here. The other would be Seattle. We visited, Jamie and I visited there several times. We love that town, that city, I guess. The atmosphere, the weather, etc. And then I'd probably have to say something. I'd probably do like something in Asia because I'm obsessed with Asian culture, Asian food. I don't know where the best is, so China, Japan, somewhere, maybe South Korea. But I'm obsessed with Asian food, so I would love to just explore the markets and everything that is.
So I lived in South Korea. I don't know that I would want to go back and live there.
Okay. Well, that's off my list then.
There's my time in South Korea. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like, oh, I really want to live in South Korea again.
Maybe I would do Singapore.
There you go.
It is
Singapore, there's a lot of different cultures in Singapore, so you could, you could go well to do that.
Yeah, I would do Singapore. I was talking to Jamie the other day. I'm like, we should visit there for sure.
It's really super expensive though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would pick mountains in Colorado, a beach in Okinawa, Japan, and then around here somewhere. I like being in the Midwest. And if you couldn't tell, it's very cold outside.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how many more of these I need to do because there were several more, but
Want me to do one more?
You can save some for
Let's
next
do
week.
one more.
yeah. Well, I really kind of want to do two more because one's
Two
pretty
more.
good. So one of them, the one that I thought was really cool, is which biblical characters other than Jesus, biblical people other than Jesus, would you want to learn from?
Ooh.
Like you were, yeah. So
Multiple?
yeah, it's 3.
Oh, okay.
So I would go. Well, I mean, you could do like disciples. You could, all these people. So I would actually pick John, Paul, and Peter.
I like that.
I would say Job,
Dang.
Paul.
Oh man, we just
Then-
rocketed past everybody's living thing. By the way, I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, I didn't know if we had time. And then I don't know what the other one would be. I feel like I just had it in my head though too. Daniel. I think that'd be cool.
Mine for sure starts with David. I think David was, I don't know, his heart was just real and authentic, which I love. I think I'd probably go Abraham. His faith was insane. And then I'd have to choose Job as well, because you obviously want to learn from somebody that can withstand through everything he went through.
Yeah.
So,
Perseverance.
yeah.
I would choose James, the
That's a good one, too.
brother of Jesus. I would also go with Mary, but not the mother of Jesus, Mary, but Mary Magdalene, which I see Colleen has said Mary. I don't know which one she's going with. And then Habakkuk,
Yeah.
minor prophet. So
That's good.
I want to point out real quick that back to the house ones that Kathy picked Carlinville, Anchorage, and the North Pole.
She totally lived with Santa.
not far from Anchorage, Alaska is
Yeah.
North Alaska.
It's a quick hop, skip, and a jump over there. Okay, so last one. That was the really interesting one, but I thought this one was pretty good too, and a lot of people would get into this one. Pick 3 animals you would enjoy going behind the scenes to interact with, whether at a zoo or an aquarium. So, like, even the dangerous ones, so don't overthink it. Like, they'd be, like, sedated. They'd be working on them. They'd be like, here, you can pet this,
Sedated.
Yeah, I would go with dolphin for the aquarium one. Interact with them. A lion, which there goes the tranquilizer deal, and an elephant.
Oh.
Penguin, prairie dog, and then sloth.
Everybody in my family is laughing at you right now, Adam.
Why? Prairie dogs? They're the best.
Yeah.
They literally pop out of holes and go.
Judgmental people here. So
I'm definitely going penguin. That's my number 1 favorite animal. Then number 2 would be red panda. They are the cutest thing in the world. And then
we recently learned that they don't like to be pet, though, Cameron.
Oh.
Yeah, because we watched. There's a Cincinnati zoo thing that I watched with the kids, and we were like, "Oh, red pandas," and we watched it, and they were like, "Yeah, even people who've been around them for years, they do not like to be patted at all."
Oh, that's a bummer. That's such a bummer. I did my research paper my sophomore year on endangerment of red pandas, and then probably my last one would be sea lions because they just seem like they have a blast.
Adam, did you say a third one, or did we interrupt you with our hysterical laughter?
I said a third. It was penguins, prairie dogs, and sloth.
And the sloth? That was the third one?
Yeah, or manatees.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I love manatees.
The sea
They're
cow.
just big, fat, cuddly things.
When we lived in Florida, we'd go manatee watching all the time.
So I would go with the red panda for sure.
Yes.
I think everybody in my family agrees with that. Hannah, pick one.
A seal.
Seal. And Hayden?
A Bengal tiger.
Bengal.
Ooh.
Copying off somebody.
I am not.
He doesn't know what a Bengal tiger
Yeah.
is.
We and then watch the movie with that.
Oh, yeah. We did Life of Pi. We just
That was
did
an
Life of Pi.
awesome movie.
It's a good one. Good movie.
We got some pretty nice, unique answers in there.
Ooh, a Komodo dragon.
Yeah, koala bears. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Dude, koala bears are scary when they're wet.
I like how Kathy
Look
is
up a
questioning
picture of
me.
a soaked
Prairie dog?
Who does?
Yes, prairie dog, Kathy.
Prairie dog.
Adam,
Ape
I'm
tiger
going
and a
to you
bear.
to Colorado with me for the cigar festival in August, and I'll let you go play with the prairie dogs out in the field.
All right. Gabby said, I want to be one of those people that dress like giant pandas to breed them.
Wait,
Have you never seen those videos?
No.
They wear panda suits to go into these panda things to make them not scared. It's pretty cool.
huh.
No.
So we went and watched the pandas in IMAX
Ooh.
at the St. Louis Science Center, and that was super, super cool.
The babies are adorable.
The babies are adorable.
Okay. Do we want to do this ice bucket challenge and then we can sign off?
Yeah, we have to do it and get it out of the way, but it is freezing cold
Yeah.
outside, so we're going to do it.
Yeah, it's really freezing because I did it this morning.
So I'm going to stay on here. Hey, Gretchen just pulled in, which is perfect timing. So I'm going
You
to
should
go
dump it on her.
on my phone as well as this. Turn this computer around for everybody to see.
Tractor.
And I'm going to hand. Sorry, you're looking at my crotch. I apologize about that.
I thought it was. Wait, what?
All right, we're starting a live video on Facebook. Hayden is going to hold the camera while you're back at my crotch. Hayden's going to hold the camera while I do Hannah's, straight up and down, Hannah's Ice Bucket Challenge. So Hannah was challenged to do the Ice Bucket Challenge by Annie, which makes her very, very happy. So Hannah, who would you like to challenge to do the Ice Bucket Challenge?
Michaela, Cameron, and
She doesn't
someone
know
else.
and someone else. All right, Michaela and Cameron. So let's have you stand up. Hayden, come around so you can see her face.
I'm not.
Back here.
I'm not excited for this.
Are you ready?
No. Oh.
All right, and I was challenged to do the Ice Bucket Challenge by Eric. Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to challenge Dana McGee and Gretchen Truex, who is sitting in the car. I don't think she wants to come up here, as well as my son Hayden, who is on the camera right over there. So I think I have to do this to myself because Hayden's got the camera. Hannah, hold the camera. All right, Hayden's going to dump this bucket of water on me. I'm not looking for it. Please don't drop it on me.
He's gonna drop it on you.
He's going to drop it on me.
Yeah.
Don't. He can't do it. It's too heavy.
Oh, God.
That was a really bad idea. It's freezing cold, lots of ice. So you have 24 hours for something about owing us toilet paper. I understand all of it. There is still ice in my hair.
Imagine me.
It's going down your shirt.
What camera was you
I'm signing off now so I can go change. It's been wonderful. Bye.
See you, Jen.
So,
All right.
so guys,
camera
before we sign off, I
camera?
got some outro music for Cam here.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Is it gonna play? Because his house about burned down apparently tonight while cooking was going on.
Oh man, that's funny.
All right.
I'm
Thank
curious
you all.
if she meant me. Did she mean me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for joining us tonight. It was fun. We hope you join us tomorrow morning. Sunday morning at 9 a.m. On Facebook and YouTube. So hope you join us. This has been fun. Cameron, go check if your house is on fire. All right. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
See ya.
See you later.